Randee Dawn is the author of the funny pop culture fantasy Tune In Tomorrow. An entertainment journalist by day, her articles have appeared in Variety and the LA Times, and her short stories have appeared in numerous anthologies. She's also the co-author of the Law and Order SVU unofficial companion. Whoa. Go through it, Randee.
Thank you so much for that introduction. It's great to be here with you all, and thank you for sticking around for my story, which is at the very end of it all. You got a little bit of information about Tune In Tomorrow. What I want to give you is just a tiny bit of background about the bit I'm going to read. Our main character, Star, is the first human hired on Tune In Tomorrow, which is a reality show run by mythical creatures for mythical creatures, but starring humans. What I'm going to read you is, this is her part of her first day tour around the studio hallways. She's being walked around by Jason, who is a faun and also her executive producer. She hasn't quite realized that she's among magical creatures yet, though. She just thinks everybody's in really good costumes. So bear that in mind. Star and Jason wandered alone through anonymous hallways of no personality, blank spaces free of wall hangings, door plates, electric sockets, or even light switches. "This is a dressing room," he said, holding up one doorway. "Winston's rehearsing now, so he's not in." Star barely got a peek before he shut it again. "And this is a..." Jason opened another door to reveal a tiny room that smelled like fresh paint. A small, wizened person in overalls was applying a hot pink shade over a light blue one and tipped his hat at Star. "It's a coat closet." "I see it's getting a new coat," Star quipped. Jason grinned. "Precisely. We add a new one each week." He paused in front of another door, opened it, and slammed it shut instantly. "Moving on." The muffled sound of lightning crackling filtered through the door. You all use Foley?" Star felt proud to show off her industry logo. But Star felt proud to show off industry logo. The sound effects folks tickled her with their creativity. Sure." Jason's anxious face was back. "Well, not exactly. Just a misplaced thunderstorm. Happens sometimes. This way." They twisted and turned so much Star lost track of where she was, and Jason's strange mixture of delight and nervousness was starting to make her feel anxious. At last, she came to a hard halt in the middle of a hallway. Jason tilted his head. "Look, I get it. You're like a big VFX warehouse or something. I'm guessing Tune In Tomorrow is some kind of space opera on the web. But you're showing me every nook and cranny and door hinge doesn't give me a clue about what's going on. What is this place?" Jason took a dramatic pause and his green eyes lit up. "Tune In Tomorrow is many things to so many mythics. We are the longest running, most viewed reality TV show ever made in any dimension. We are made by mythics, for mythics, but starring humans." "Reality," Star twitched, "with dragon puppets and robots." Jason started to speak, took a breath, and paced up and down, raised a finger, lowered it, then stopped in front of her, cleared his throat. "It's been some time since I had to explain this to a human. Bear with me." He pushed open another door and gestured inside. Star planted her feet in the doorway. "Jason, this is a toilet." "Yes, well, needs must. I don't have any other handy water." He was speaking in riddles, and disappearing into a bathroom with a near stranger was awkward at best, creepy at worst. Still, she didn't sense Jason was up to no good. He practically vibrated with excitement, or nerves, or both. Swallowing, Star took the risk and stepped inside. The bathroom door swung closed behind them. Jason turned on all 4 sinks in the room. Water cascaded from 3, butterflies burst from the 4th. Star gaped. Jason quickly shut that one off with a sheepish grin and turned his back on the sink. The butterflies disintegrated. Star blinked. "You see," he raised his sing-song voice over the noise of the remaining water, "we adore human toings and froings. We are the original fans of stories without end. Some hundreds of years ago, when the Seelie came up with the idea of telling stories to mythics, they were known as stories of all purpose, or for short, soap." Star realized. The room was starting to heat up and the mirrors fogged. Jason had apparently turned on only the hot water. She wondered where he was going with all this. The fantastical elements of his story were fanciful and charming, but silly. Maybe he was just being very method about the show. "You're making a soap opera?" "Shh," he quieted her, glancing around. Yes and no. That's how we started. But most mythics are self-cleaning. Bathing is a hobby, not a practice. Soaps fell a bit out of fashion. Mythics wanted real human stories. Finally, once humans on your side of the veil began writing their own TV shows, one of us, me in fact, infiltrated a few writing rooms and discovered that you were doing what we'd been doing for years and calling it reality TV. That fit us perfectly. Our viewers tune in because they believe we are telling real stories, and that's what keeps us going. But reality shows, Star caught herself. It was no secret in the business that most so-called reality shows were scripted, that they were the soap operas of the modern age, even if few would admit to it publicly. Reality shows that weren't about some weird competition were packed with melodrama, family feuds, bed-hopping antics, people being underhanded or bitchy, and sometimes all those things combined. They weren't much different from Days of Our Lives, which Star had often watched while being babysat by her grandmother when she visited during summer vacations. None of which answered her real questions, like why she was here, and why was Jason letting all that water go to waste? And if he was the producer, why was he acting like he was in character? Remind me how long the show has been airing again? In various incarnations, 439 years and 6 months and 3 days, and got it. He was funny, this Jason, adorkable and funny, even in a steamed-up bathroom. She could play along. Last I checked, TV didn't even exist before the 20th century. Human TV did not. We have many ways to tell story in this side of the veil that you do not. You've heard of Philo Farnsworth, yes? The so-called television inventor? Well, you don't imagine that's a mortal name, do you? The dear boy is one of ours, exiled on your side of the veil for several dozen rotations. Always was a Promethean fanboy. Thought he'd gift mortals with a new kind of fire, and now you share your own tales in a more mundane fashion. Star wondered if Jason ever knew how to be serious. Did they have to stand here in a human room, her curls wilting, discussing a made-up history? Wasn't she supposed to be vetted by the troublesome Fiona? And then she got it. Jason was warming her up for that meeting. He wasn't being method. This was a classic improvisational exercise. Yes, and she tossed out the cue for the improv game, which was to support whatever outlandish idea your partner offered and add on to it. So let me guess, Tune In Tomorrow comes through an antenna or a cable box. Jason grinned. Now you're getting it. We have in the past transmitted to mythics living among you through rabbits. Their ears are useful for capturing signal. And once on mechanical boxes, our programming can be found on channel *W90 infinity symbol .3. Right, she nodded broadly. Of course, I never subscribed to that one. These days, he continued, we prefer to send and receive story via water sources. Jason waved to the steam now fogging the bathroom, and water in the sinks shot straight up into the air, folding back down over itself into the sink again, creating not a waterfall, but a water wall. Heated, actively moving water is best for story reception. There is a clarity and quality of the image rabbits and boxes can't convey. Observe. It's streaming, she said. Now you're getting it, he said. Thank you all very much.
It's